Welcome to Commander's Comments. I'm your host for the evening, Harrison F. Daws, and I'm joined by the world famous, the legendary Walter D. Donnie Kennedy, our Commander in Chief. And of course, I'm also joined by our past Commander in Chief, Jason Boshers, our Chief of Heritage Operations, Mr. Paul C. Graham, and of course, another world famous gentleman. You can almost say they're twins. Past Chief of Heritage Operations, Mr. Ron Kennedy.
Thank you, Harrison. And of course, again, I want to let everybody know that Harrison has many hats that he wears in this organization, and he is our Deputy Chief of Heritage Operation, among many other things. He and Connor Bonds do great service on STV chat around the Confederation. I can't say enough good things about you two fellas. Y'all great service for the organization and letting the world know that we are out here and that things are really beginning to turn around a little bit. Now, before I get started, I mentioned, I don't know if y'all heard the news about the Texas school that in 2020, they changed the name of the school from Robert E. Lee to some other more woke name. Well, a new school board has been elected, and by I think it was like a 4-3 margin, they voted to change the name back to Robert E. Lee. Now, this is going along with the Arlington Monument being talked about being put back in its position. I'm telling you, people, we are on the verge of a big gray wave taking over the South and hopefully the nation. We've got to keep pushing. Don't sit back and say, oh, things are changing now. No, they are beginning to change. But as General Forrest would say, we got to put the scare in them and keep the scare in them. So with that said, I want to get started first with, I think if I can pull my phone up here, I got a message from our illustrious executive director. If y'all excuse me, I get this thing pulled up here. All right. Upcoming events here, we've got at the SCV headquarters, we've got several things going on, and I've lost my, here we go, upcoming event. We have the Confederate Legion, and Ron and Paul will talk about this more, but we've got a Confederate Legion training session in September the 6th. We have a Southern Showdown car show on October the 4th, and the Murray Christmas home tour of homes in December the 5th. All those things are upcoming events from now through December, and there'll be other things coming along. Adam also told me that as of the 23rd, and I'm assuming he meant the 23rd of August. He may have meant the 23rd of September, but he just said as of the 23rd, the museum will be open on Saturdays, plural. So there again, we did this because you, the membership, got busy with the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, with all the other efforts that were being done. We showed the world that we meant business in paying off a debt, in financing our organization, and we got some benefactors who graciously joined in our effort. But listen, it would have never been done had it not been for the membership. It wasn't the guys you see on your TV right now or your screen. We could not have done this. All we can do is offer it to the membership and ask the membership to get behind it. Y'all did it. You did it. And that museum being open on Saturday is going to be a big, big boom as far as getting the message out, the correct message out about the South and the Southern tradition. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but I can't hardly stand it. I want to also mention that I've been working closely with Jason and Adam and Eric Pravetti, and we're closing in on getting a major billboard up in the Nashville area advertising the National Confederate Museum. And of course, that puts them on to the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Now, I know. First of all, I want to say the Confederate Legion, as well as Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief Tony Griffin, he is stepped in and he's helping this project out with his retention and recruitment financing to make sure that we can get this billboard. It's going to cost us anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month to get a billboard in that area. Now, that's one billboard that'll be there 24/7 for 12 months. It's in the Nashville area, just one area. Now, I know we're going to get people saying, well, why don't we just put it in Vicksburg, or why don't we put it in Mobile? Ron, I'm going to ask you, what do you think is Nashville is such a good area to put that billboard?
Well, I think the most important thing is the fact that we're going to have a tremendous amount of tourists coming into Nashville to see country and western stuff, and of course now that means that they're most likely red voters, conservatives anyway, and so we will be able to present the Sons of Confederate Veterans, the Confederate Museum, to a lot of people who have never heard of it. So that's number one. Number two is the fact that there is a tremendous inflow of conservative podcasters, right-wing media personalities like the Daily Wire, et cetera, Brett Cooper, I love that little girl, and just a strong, I think Candace Owens, is she still in Nashville?
Yes.
So you see a tremendous number of these right-wing people, conservative podcasters that are in the Nashville area. They too will see it. And remember, we've got to break into that market. They've got to know who we are. So that's another plus for us. And of course, the politicians are going to see it up there. That's going to be another plus for us. So there's just a tremendous amount of good that can come from being there in the Nashville area. And that's why that's the first. Now, as I'll talk about later when I talk about the 21st century, that's not going to be the last place or the only place.
Here. Thank you a lot. I appreciate it. And that's exactly why we wanted to do that, folks. We want to try to get at least the beginning of our footprint on a more of a national market. When you got people coming not only from all across the United States, but all around the world to Nashville, Tennessee, it's a big draw, tourist draw. They're going to see that sign that says National Confederate Museum, Columbia, Tennessee, with a picture of Robert E. Lee on it. And then our URL, and Sons of Confederate Veterans, when they go to it, they're going to hear about the Sons of Confederate Veterans. They're going to see a new video. We're getting a new video for our museum website. And so we're really changing things around and trying to break out into the general audience. Yes, sir, Ron.
One thing I forgot to mention, the fact that there's a tremendous number of country and western artists up there who feel the same as we do, but have been, due to wokeism, unable to express it like they used to in the old days when, what was it, Bobby Horton sang about the Battle of Atlanta. You remember that? But that's going to put our name right up there, and they're going to say, wow, Columbia, Tennessee is just right there down the road a piece. I'm going to go down south of Nashville and take a look at it. So we're getting networking into the entertainment community, as well as the fact that we're going to have a lot of tourists see it as well.
And like I said, I want to thank Lieutenant Commander Tony Griffin for his efforts in helping this. And also, folks, the Confederate Legion. If you're not already a member, you need to join up. If you're a past member, re-up. And we'll be talking about that here in a few minutes. But this is how we can really change things. And I do want to mention that Lieutenant Commander Tony Griffin has just sealed a deal on a national magazine that goes out nationally to conservative people that will have a full-page ad, color ad, promoting the National Confederate Museum. And on that ad, they've got the QR code that leads them to the If Walls Could Talk video, that famous video that looks good. So remember, it's hard to get a ad for the Sons of Confederate Veterans, but when you put museum on there, for some reason, a lot of the problems goes away. So we're kind of sneaking in the back door, if you would. So again, I want to thank Lieutenant Commander Tony Griffith for his effort and his willingness to work with all of us. He has been great in this, and we're going to continue the effort. Now, so much for that. I've already wasted half my first section here. I want to talk about that we've got elections coming up. Walter D. Donnie Kennedy this time next year will not be wearing this gewgaw. I know Jason probably is envious. He wants to wear it, but I didn't see him jumping up and saying yes. But anyway, we will have a new commander-in-chief. Right now, no one has announced for the office of commander-in-chief, but we do have two candidates, two individuals who have offered themselves as candidates for our lieutenant commander-in-chief's position. So with that said, I would like to, there we go. There's their pictures right there. We have Charles LeRae on my left looking at the picture, and Roy Hudson. They both have offered themselves as candidates for the office of Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. Now, sometime next week, hopefully if all goes well, next week, I will get information out on the Telegraph with these two gentlemen's website URL, so you can go to their website and read all about them. But basically, I'm going to go by alphabetical order. I want to start with Roy Hudson there. He served several times on the GEC as Inspector-in-Chief of the GEC. He's a founding member and charter member of the Nathan Bedford Forest Camp 1595 in Florida. And he's worked in media outreach and communication much of his life, and that is his forte. All right, now let's go to Charles LeRae. Charles has been the Louisiana Division Commander. He's held several offices in the Louisiana Division, but he's been Louisiana Division Commander. He's been Army of Trans-Mississippi Commander, and he served 2 terms as on the national level, GEC, as Chief of Staff. So those are just some bullet points to let you know the quality of men that we have that are offering themselves for service. Both of these gentlemen, as I told the men in the Army of the Trans-Mississippi when they made their announcement, this organization is very fortunate to have men of this quality with their background and with what their experience to offer themselves for this high office, your Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. So I want to thank both of these gentlemen for being such good Christian gentlemen about the whole effort. They both have pledged to each other that they will work with the other one. If the other one wins, they still going to be 100% behind them. And I guarantee you, I know Charles LeRae, he'll be there. I know Roy Hudson, he'll be there. So I'm very proud of these two gentlemen. So that is something to think about. Now, at the national convention, many of y'all were not there. How many people did we end up with at the national convention? Was it 400, 500? Do you know? Anybody get a head count?
We were a little over 400.
Okay. All right. Somewhere between 400 and 500. So obviously everybody wasn't there, but I wanted to go over the 2 highest awards that the SCV can offer. The second highest award is the Robert E. Lee Medal and Award. That is given to someone who has done national service, and we usually give those to 3 individuals each year. So we have 3 recipients. The GEC gets the ballots, the nomination. The GEC will vote on and select those 3 people. So if Harrison, if you bring up the 3 people, okay. The first person to get the award was Roy Hudson. Roy Hudson became a member, and the next one we've got coming up. So there we go. Martin O'Toole. Now, I don't know if a lot of y'all may not know Martin O'Toole, but he's a lawyer there in Georgia. He is their judge advocate. This man has done tremendous work in helping all of us, and especially the Georgia division, to keep Stone Mountain a Confederate site. So, and many other things too, working with the legislature. So he has been an asset, not just to Georgia, and that's the important thing. It is a national effort. When he wins in Georgia, big times like they've done in the past, we all win. And then our next individual that we'll talk about that won the Robert E. Lee Award, I think y'all recognize this fella. This is our current Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief, Tony Griffin, and he won and you see he's holding the Robert E. Lee Medal and there his certificate also. So those three that's the second highest award. Now we go to the highest award that the SCB gives. Let's throw this picture up. There we go. Y'all might not recognize this smiling gentleman. That's Randy Burbage. He won the Jefferson Davis Chalice. And when I say win, he earned it. Every person that got an award, they earned it. They didn't win it. It wasn't some perchance lottery that they just got lucky and won. They earned it. Any of you who have been to a convention in the last, I'd say, I almost want to say 20 years, at least the last 10 years, and you go to the Heritage Banquet and you get all those medals and awards and everything that's put together, Randy was the guy who did all that. And I'm telling you, Ron and I have done it for the Heritage Medal for the Confederate Legion and the Heritage Operation, and it is a pain in the yay. But this gentleman has done it for the whole organization. Plus, he's been very active in the Army of Northern Virginia and, of course, in South Carolina. So, congratulations to Randy Burbage. He is holding the chalice there. So, those gentlemen. We need to say thank you to these gentlemen who have worked so hard. And I'm going to tell you something. I'll be the first to admit there's a lot of people in this organization that deserves those medals. But, sometimes you have to think which one is the best for right now. And right now we made our choice and we're happy and we're moving forward. And I think this is just absolutely wonderful. Now, we have also some other awards. The SCB gives a lot of awards. Now, I was recently at the Below camp in Dallas, Texas, and I had the honor of presenting some awards, certificates to people who won some awards there. And Harrison, if you'll bring up the pictures there. This is a gentleman here is Hiram Patterson, and he is receiving the Distinguished Service Award. This is a national award that's given. I just happened to be speaking to the camp, and they asked me if I would help present that, and I was just honored to do so. And I'm showing this camp not because these are the only people that receive this. All across the Confederation, these awards have been handed out. But I just want you to know there are people in your camp that you need to think about that might need to be nominated for some of these awards. Let's go to the next one. All right. Here we have Timothy Barnes with the Meritorious Service Award. And he's also an active member in the Below camp. And the next individual is Mark Brown and a Meritorious Service Award. These awards are given to people who have done just a little bit extra, a little bit beyond. And sometimes in your camp, it's hard to determine who should be nominated because there's maybe half your people there that just do a lot, and it's hard sometimes to figure out who's done a little bit more than the rest of us. But you need to get these awards to these people, and they need to be recognized. Thank you, Harrison. Now, one of the reasons I say that, I went to my camp last Tuesday night, and I just went there. I've been busy doing SCV work. I had jeans and a T-shirt on. I ran to the camp with tennis shoes on. When I got there, I'd forgotten that we had, I think, three members that received awards like this, and there I had to present those dressed like a vagabond, but I was proud to be able to give them their awards. Again, if you have members in your camp that you believe are worthy of these awards, be sure to check with the awards committee. Look on the Constitution and look under awards there and see what awards are available. Some of them, like these, are national. You have to send information to the commander-in-chief and saying, I would think so-and-so is qualified for this award. And then the commander-in-chief, and under the advice and consent of the GEC, sometimes will then send out their award. So that is why I want to do that. Now, here we got the last gentleman here I want to mention is Brian Brady. Do we have? All right. This gentleman has just received an award for his 50th year of service to the Sons of Confederate Veterans. And according to Adam, I just got a text from Adam, and not only does he get a certificate, but he will also have a medal to present it to him for 50 years. You get 25 years and you get a 50 year. So that is absolutely amazing. And Commander Boshers, do you know a little bit? Can you tell us a little bit about this individual, Brian Brady?
Yes, sir. I know him. We've conversed quite a few times. I actually become interacting with him when I was Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief, and then quite a bit when I was in the Military Order of Stars and Bars. I'm in the military. He's in the Military Order of Stars and Bars. And we just met through that, met a few times, went and visited with the division, went and visited with his camp. He's a very good SCV member. He's been around a very long time, 50 years. And he sent me a picture of the certificate and his 50-year pin together.
Yeah.
So this is them recognizing him is a wonderful thing. And I thank Kevin Stone for what Kevin Stone's doing.
Absolutely. Thank you a lot. I appreciate it. Okay. The week after the reunion in Houston, I had the pleasure of traveling to San Antonio to speak to and meet with and talk with the people of the Children of the Confederacy. And if we got some pictures of the Children of the Confederacy, see if we can get those up. All right. This gentleman here, and y'all may have seen him at our convention. He is President General. He, at the time of this photograph, at the time of their reunion, he was President General of the Children of the Confederacy, and this is Judson Pritchett. And Judson had done a great job, and he ran the show up there. He and the lady that is the Vice President General. Show her, get her picture up. And it's coming. There we go. How y'all like that hat she's got on? Man, I tell you what, she's going to be a UDC lady. I tell you, no doubt about it. This is Cora Scott, Madam Miss Cora Scott. At the time of this photograph, she was Vice President General of the Children of the Confederacy. And I believe now she has been moved up to President General of the Children of the Confederacy. Now, these children ran this event. Now, think about that. And of course, obviously, they had some sponsorship. They had some adult supervisors, but they ran the event. Unfortunately, people like Ron and myself, we didn't have that honor and that pleasure. We wasn't trained for what we're doing. We just kind of catch as catch can. But these young people are being trained. And as I've told the convention in Houston, these people in the Children of the Confederacy, they are being trained as leaders, not just members. Certainly they'll be members of the UDC and the SCV, but they're getting the training to be leadership and quality leadership in the Southern movement. And so I want to encourage all of our members to support the Children of the Confederacy. If you've got a daughter or granddaughter, or a grandson or great-grandson that will qualify as members in the Children of the Confederacy, seek out a member of the UDC, and let's get those children in that organization and start them being trained. And also, we have many youth camps that we don't, as SCB, we don't run, but we support. And we've got several pictures of the youth camp, and I want to show y'all those, because look at this wad of young people here. These young people here are learning the truth about Southern history. And the good thing about it, they're at a camp where they're learning and having fun. Again, this is training the leadership in the SCV, UDC, Order of the Confederate Rose, and other such, Military Order of the Stars and Bars, all other such organizations. They're being trained right now. And if you want, let's just take any of these young men or ladies here, especially these young men. If you want them to be members of the SCV, they might not join when they're 20 or 30, but if they know the truth about Southern history, when they become 40 and 50, they will want to join then, because they will remember the truth and they will not be stymied by liberal lies and wokeism. So we've got to train these young people. Let's see the other picture. We got a couple more pictures here. Here's another youth camp picture. Let's do the next one. Look here. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Next, okay. Now this is my favorite picture. What a beautiful sight! Southern Belles. These ladies are being trained to be Southern Belles, Southern ladies, and this is how we can ensure that the future will belong to us. The future will not belong to us if we do not train our young people. We can bump our gums. We can meet, eat, and retreat with our 5 to 50 members in our local SCV camp and local chapter of the UDC, where everybody is old enough to hide from the morticianer. We can do that, but we won't do any good unless we train these young people. And as I said, every one of these young people may not join the UDC here or the SCV when they're 20 or 30. But they will have learned the truth because of us. Now, some of them will join. Some of them are very active. We've got quite a few active young members of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. But most people join heritage-type organizations usually when they're in their 40s, starting 40s to 60s, when they're really interested in their genealogy and heritage. And they won't be interested in joining these type of organizations if all they've ever heard is negative things about the South. So therefore, let's support the Children of the Confederacy. Let's support these Southern youth camps. There's at least 3 of them in Texas, in Virginia, South Carolina, and South Carolina, Georgia. There's quite a few of them. And let's get your camp, or if not your camp, get your brigade together and say, let's sponsor one of these, some young person at this camp. If your camp can't afford it, your brigade, if you've got 3 to 5 brigade camp members, in your brigade, you can afford then to sponsor a young person. And that sponsorship, it may not pay dividends in our lifetime, but certainly it'll pay dividends in the lifetime of our children and our grandchildren. And we will get many members there from this. Okay, now I'm just about pontificated here for about 30 minutes. And I'm going to let Harrison, if you could take us into a Pop-Tart break. And we'll come back, and we've got Ron and Paul and Jason is going to tell us a lot about the 21st century, the Confederate Legion, and an update on the Forrest Plaza and what's going on there. And Jason has got some excellent photographs that we took while we were looking at and working on the equestrian statue of Forrest. And you don't want to miss that. So come back, and we'll get this rolling here shortly. Harrison, I'm throwing it to you now, sir.
Thank you, Commander. As always, our Pop-Tart breaks are sponsored by scvchat.com. If you want to watch episodes live, find an easy place to see the most recent Commander's Comments episode, find some other great episodes we have up there, and so much more information, please check out scvchat.com. And this show is, of course, like all our other shows, sponsored by our Patreons. We couldn't do this without y'all. Thank y'all for just $10 a month. You can keep us on the air and help us expand the SCV Chat brand to more and more people. We reached over 1.6 million people this year, and we've been doing that with y'all. So thank y'all. And, of course, by Dr. Chris Cummins, MD. Have knee pain? Go check out Dr. Cummins. He'll help you out. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Well, thank you. I tell you what, that every time I hear that that Walls Could Talk ad, I just it tickles me to death. And just think, when people go to our museum, they're gonna see stuff just like that, and they're gonna hear the correct view of the war for Southern independence. And we're going to be proudly displaying, and in the future, as I said before, we've already got one. When I say national, it is a conservative periodical that goes out monthly to something like 25 to 30,000 good conservative around the United States with that ad. We're doing more of such ads in other periodicals. We're also looking into various ways of getting into local media, and I'm working hard on that. So we're hoping that in the future, you're going to be able to see it in your local area. Let's say, I don't know what's the status of the monument in Brandon, Mississippi, but we would love to have the Fox channel there. We could do hopefully area ads such as what you've just seen about the Sons of Confederate Veterans and why you should be proud of your heritage. So every time you have some judge or some politician wanting to take down a monument or wanting to refuse to let us in a parade, we can do localized TV ads on like Fox or maybe Newsmax and such journals like that. So we're looking at that, and we've got to get our message out to the general public. And as I said at the during the convention in Houston, if they know, we will grow. Simply meaning, if the general public in the South especially knows about us, know who we are, this organization will grow. But if they don't know who we are, if all they hear is what the woke media tells people that we are and are about, then we won't grow. But if they know, we will grow, and we're going to pursue that effort. Now, for the last couple of minutes here, we've got probably about another 25 minutes here. I'm going to ask Ron if you and Paul would give us an update, Ron, especially on the 21st century, also the Confederate Legion training camp that's coming up. And we can also announce the upcoming Stephen D. Lee Institute.
Okay, I'm going to try to be real quick. I'm going to do the Confederate Legion first because all I have is 25 minutes left to talk. All right, Confederate Legion training. This is September the 6th, first Saturday in September, Elm Springs. We've got there's the Kennedy Twins article, Confederate Legion PDF. That's scrolling across your screen. I sent out on Constant Contact also the form. So to all the Confederate Legion members and other folks. But if you didn't get it, the form is available at thekennedytwins.com. So go to that article /CL_registration and you can download the PDF. We need to get those mailed in. You can either write a check and make sure you put on the memo line for CL or Confederate Legion training, send that on into national headquarters, or you can go online, send the form in still, but you can go online and pay online if you prefer doing that. And there's instructions on the form on how to do that. It looks like when you go on there, you're giving money to the 21st century, but you go down and choose $15 for registration. And when that comes into national, they know that between now and September the 6th, that's for registration of the training session. The training session, again, we're going to start the registration at 8:30 a.m. We're going to start the training session at 9 promptly. We're going to complete everything by 3 o'clock promptly. So those of you who've got a long drive back, like Donald and I, you can get away early. Of course, Donald and I will stick around as long as y'all want to talk and discuss and share ideas, but we try to be very punctual on there. We're going to go over, this is a hands-on training. This isn't a rah-rah session. This is hands-on training. When you leave here, we want you to leave with some tools to take back to your camp. We're working on the old saying of see one, do one, teach one. So we want you to go back to your camps and say, this is what we need to do in order to promote our heritage. We're going to talk about the one-click politics, make sure everybody knows how to use it and what it's capable of and how you can use it at the state and local level as well as national. We're going to go over the how to collate a list of email lists for your people in your local area, your community, the influencers in your area, the people that you want to influence, as well as the elected officials. We'll go over that. We'll go over how to identify friendly media people and show you the form to fill out and mail in. It is now, I believe we finally got it on the website, so you can populate it on the website. We want a complete list of every potentially friendly media, weekly newspaper, daily if they're friendly towards us, podcasters in your area, radio disc jockeys in your area that are conservative. We need to be able, when the Commander-in-Chief wants to send out a news release, we don't want to have to try to depend on the AP or whoever picking it up, and they won't. We're going to send it directly to them. So we're going to go over that. We're going to also discuss the new Heritage Medal form, how to get that, because I'm really, really disappointed. There's a lot of people that deserve that Heritage Medal in the local camps. We got a new way of doing it, so I hope that we're going to flood the national next reunion with Heritage Medals, because there's people at the local camps that deserve it. And we're not going to say you can only give it to one person per camp. We're going to say as many as meet the criteria. Let's see. The Confederate Legion lapel pins. whoops, where's there's on this side. They will be given out, so you'll get your lapel pin. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so you'll have the lapel pin. Let's see. And also we're going to be talking about keyboard warriors. We got a man that's going to show you how to be a keyboard warrior. So very important aspect. It all ties in together with getting our information out to our people. Let's see. Now let's switch over to make sure I didn't leave anything out here. Yeah. Switch over to the 21st century. We are still, oh, yes, that's right. Thank you, Donald, because I didn't have my booklet. Everybody will get the book, handbook on
Free.
The training session. So, matter of fact, I loaded Donald's car up with them this past week. If he remembers to bring them. He's also got to bring the lapel pins too. So, yeah. But I'm gonna meet him in Jackson, Mississippi. If he don't have it, he's got to turn around and go all the way back to Point, Louisiana, and get it. So I think he'll remember. All right, now in the 21st century, what did we promise you when we set this up? When we started this, and it started under the leadership of Jason Boshers, now past Commander-in-Chief. He was a Commander-in-Chief. He supported the Kennedy twins when we brought him this crazy idea, and he has worked very hard behind the scenes, especially getting the pavers ready, getting everything ready so that when we get everything in, we can get it all taken care of. But we said, look, if you'll give this money, become a part of the 21st century Confederate heroes. And remember, you're not doing this to pat yourself on the back and say, I'm a hero. You're making a legacy for yourself so your great-grandchildren can point back, just like we point to like Donald and I point to our great-grandfather, who was a real, true Confederate hero. He was in the rifle pit when we sunk that Yankee gunboat on the Yazoo River, the USS Cairo. I don't know how they pronounce it. But nonetheless, your great-grandchildren will be able to point back and say, my goodness, my great-granddaddy Moose was actually a Confederate hero because he stood firm when the wokeism was trying to destroy our heritage. And because of him and men like him, they are Confederate heroes, just like his great-great-grandfather was a true Confederate hero. So This is not to pat yourself on the back and say, hey, look at me, I'm a hero. No, I'm creating a legacy, and you're creating a legacy for your children, your grandchildren, great-grandchildren. If the Lord tarries long enough, your great-great-great-great-grandchildren can point back to. So we said in order to do this, we're going to pay off that bank mortgage. It was due July 2025. It's taken care of. And again, like Donald said, it's because you did it. You made it so that the people had some deep pockets looked and said, wow, these Southerners, these SCV members, they're serious. They're paying this debt down, and we're going to write a big check to help them. So we through your effort, we've liquidated that bank mortgage. Okay, that's freed up some funds. We also have the money to fund the restoration of the Forrest Plaza. It costs money to get it done, but boy, it's going to be beautiful. And when you look at that, if Walls Could Talk video as it pans out, hey, we got to do a new one so it pans out when it shows that Forrest Plaza. Oh my goodness. You talk about bring tears to your eyes when you see that. That is going to be so exciting. I can't wait. But we've got the money to take care of that, again, because of your effort. We also promised that we're going to start a massive PR campaign, public relations campaign. And part of it is billboards. Part of it is ads, radio, TV, also periodicals and conservatives. So we're just getting started. I mean, this is literally the first month. We're just getting started. But also, we got to pay off the balance of the Brooks Fund that we borrowed. We borrowed from ourselves, but we're paying it back just like interest, just like any other mortgage note. And we want to raise the money to pay that off. Now, when we pay that off, get that paid off, we're going to go supercharged on the PR campaign. So it's very, very important. Also, on the 21st century, some of you have seen, if you were at the convention, you got your little pamphlet, I Need You to Join the 21st Century. Well, the wonderful thing about it is in there, when we printed these out, it said part of our purpose is to pay off this bank mortgage. Well, that ain't true no more. It's already paid off. So I sent Past Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshers some verbiage to change on that. He's already did his magic, and I think we're going to probably need to get another couple hundred printed up so we can get out the new ones, where we're bragging about the fact that we paid off the bank mortgage and now we're working to pay down, and we've taken care of Forest Plaza. We're starting our initial PR campaign, and we're going to pay off the Brooks Fund as well. And I believe that's it. I do want two things. I want Moose to talk about his family and the 21st century campaign. Got to be short because I used up most of your time. But I'm reading through the comments, and I see we've got people from Arizona, California. I even saw somebody from Lebanon on there. And then I got to maybe Tennessee. I'm not sure. But anyway, we got folks from all over listening, and we appreciate you. And I even saw Sandy Mitchum was on there. Dr. Mitchum was on. He may have gone to sleep by now. He has to listen to the Kennedys more than most of y'all do, so he may have zoned out on us. And I also saw a fellow by the name of Pete Harris, who said he's an attorney in Nashville. Pete, thank you for your comment. He said, I'm happy to help in any way I can. That's what it's all about, whether you're an attorney or whether you're the man that helps do the yard work at Elm Springs. Everything you do is important in this organization. Now, Moose, I understand your family has got something involved with the 21st century.
Yes, sir. So at National Reunion, we decided to make a challenge to everybody. For those who don't watch the Monday or regular Thursday show, Look Around the Confederation, the running gag is I'm just dirt broke, apparently. I'm, begging on the side of the street. It's not too far off, mind you. I am just a farmer. I'm not raking in anything. But my family and I decided we really wanted to do something for General Forrest. We had already contributed to our camp's 21st century Confederate heroes, them joining. We already helped with that, but we wanted to do a bit more for General Forrest. So Forrest DeLynn Daws, Forrest Shade Daws, and Harrison Forrest Daws all decided that we were going to cut back on some things we like doing and maybe not go to the movies or maybe not get fast food, maybe just cook in. But we decided together to join the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, and we're asking other people to join us. I understand hard times. My debit card's been declined for 80 cents ramen noodles before, so I get it. But try to find some people you can come together with. Try to bring it up on the camp level if you would like. But let's get General Forrest back up in the air. That's something I think we all take great pride in, is honoring the great General Nathan Bedford Forrest. So we're just asking you to join us.
Oh, thank you, Harrison. And I'm gonna right quick, and we're gonna go over because what Jason has got to say here in a minute, everybody is going to want to hear. But Ron, I want to mention that the Stephen D. Lee Institute, February the 28th. Mark it on your calendar. In Raleigh-Durham area. The DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel, Raleigh-Durham Airport, February the 28th. We're going to have the Stephen D. Lee Institute. We're looking at something to talk about similar to the South and the Declaration of Independence, something along that theme there. So we're looking at that. The rate for the rooms there is $127 per night. The registration fee will be $150. That includes the meal at noon as well as the meal for the banquet that night. So, which is in line with our last Stephen D. Lee Institute. So the price hadn't gone up. It's the same. So I just want to throw that out. We're just now getting started. I've been working with Frank Powell with this for several weeks now. Ron has been doing great service on this. So we will have more information in the future, and we should have something on the website pretty soon. So mark it on your calendar, February the 28th, 2026. Can you believe that? Lord have mercy. Stephen D. Lee in the Raleigh-Durham area. So with that said, I want to hear what Past Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshers has to say about the Forrest Plaza and all the work that's going on there. So Jason, you take your time. I think people will want to stay over and hear. You got 8 minutes. You take 80 if you need it, sir.
Oh, you shouldn't have told him that.
Well, I've been hanging around Kennedy Wiggins too much. Commander, thank you for allowing me to come on and give an update. I'll start back because some people might not have been at the National Reunion and they might not be fully caught up on everything. Before the National Reunion, on the evening of July the 8th, the Forrest Last Ride Committee, and the Forrest Last Ride Committee has been tasked with putting together the Forrest Equestrian Plaza that everybody remembers from Forest Park in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you, Commander Kennedy. Commander Kennedy has put me in charge of this, and I'm honored more than I can tell you to be tasked with doing such a humbling thing. I don't really have words for it. That's the reason why I thought, well, if you look back at the original story, Nathan Bedford Forrest's son helped the Ladies Memorial Association and the Forrest Memorial Association and the United Daughters of the Confederacy and Charles Henry Niehaus put the first plaza together. So it only made sense to have his descendants still there. So we have two of the great-great-grandsons that's on the committee. And then we have Lee Miller, who so many people know from Camp 215, who's been you're talking about somebody that's been in the trenches since the beginning. He has been there. And then we have Ed Phillips. He was the Forrest family attorney. And, of course, our own esteemed Commander-in-Chief is on the committee, and our executive director. So we met, Zoom meeting. Everybody was there because we needed to get a recommendation to present to the General Executive Council. And we needed to get 3 bids, and we had 3 bids. And the committee decided unanimously to go with one particular one. It was, what they are bringing to the table. They can do everything that was defined within our scope of work. Because, first of all, we needed to repair on the equestrian statue, which was to repair the broken piece off the tail. And there'll be pictures of that showing up later. Moose, when do you want to start doing the pictures? Or
that's all on you, Commander. You just let me know.
Okay, well, make yourself happy. Okay, there we are. There we're actually scanning the piece that's on the tail, because that piece of the tail was broken off, and that's Lee Miller that's standing behind him. And Commander Kennedy was here this day when we were doing the scanning. And what we were getting to do that is, if you've ever broken a tooth and you've had to put a cap on or a crown on, you know that they go in there and they do that stuff to measure it so they make something to fit in. And that's what that is. It's called 3D imaging. And that was one of the things that this one group that we decided on, which is Vanetti's Design, they can do the 3D imaging. They can do all of the bronze work that we need. And I don't know if I'll talk a moment about the bronze, where the gentleman right there is doing the scanning. There was a piece that was broken off that tail, and it was broken off sometime back. I don't know exactly how long ago. It's an old break. so much that it had patinaed like the rest of the equestrian statue. And it had even been fixed at one time where they had welded a nut in there and they had screwed that piece of broken tail back on. Well, somewhere along the way, that piece was gone, missing again. So we needed to create a piece to do that. Well, one of the men that we had that come and gave us a bid needed to test the bronze to see what kind of high quality bronze we had. And if it has any contaminants in the bronze, it will spark heavily. You'll see sparks raining everywhere, and it'll be red and orange and every other color under the sun. When the gentleman that was there tested that, it was a very, very light white. And one of the earlier talks that we had on here, I showed a picture of him doing that, and you saw the white light that was coming off of it. So we have very high quality bronze, but we're scanning that so we can put that tail back in. And if you want to go to the scanning of the saber, the 1840s cavalry saber. Now, Nathan Bedford Forrest carried an 1840s cavalry saber, the wrist breaker, throughout the war. And we had it scanned, and there you see it. That is an 1840s cavalry saber. And that is the piece that they used to do the 3D imaging. They do it, and you see it up on the screen there, the laptop screen. And he runs it over it multiple times from all the different angles, and it creates a complete image of it. But the committee, because Venetti's designed, because they do all of the 3D imaging and they do the repair work, we went with them. They gave us the most complete bid that we could ask for. The other two companies we had, I contacted them. I thanked them for giving us a bid because I want to be able to work with them in the future because they presented great work, and I see the work that they have done. I went and I visited with them. They know what they're doing. Some of the pieces that they've worked on, you can see there at Elm Springs. But Venetti's was the one that gave us the best example. So the committee met. They went unanimously with Venetti's. Then we needed to go to National Reunion. And at the pre-reunion meeting on Wednesday afternoon, Commander Kennedy allowed us to make the presentation for the recommendation from the committee, and the General Executive Council voted unanimously to go with them. And I was honored for that to happen. Then almost immediately on August, we ended up the end of July. All of a sudden they contacted us and said, hey, we want to come. And Venetti came. What you saw earlier where they were doing the imaging, they were there on August the 4th doing the imaging. So they already know they got it. They're there August 4th. They were already doing the imaging. And at the same time, we have an architect that is having to put the drawings back together. We were told that, there's blueprints to put the plaza back together. Now, remember it, when you're going to be standing and you're going to be facing Forrest on top of King Philip, he is going to be 50 feet deep and 75 feet long. He is going to be a massive structure. And top of Forest Head is going to be nearly 21 feet in the air. And so we have to figure out a way to support all of this weight. And Harrison, if you want to start pulling up some of the building blocks. Now, yes, these and our architect, and that's our architect with Lee Miller, walking around, you can see how a lot of these are marked on them already. But we needed to verify that we had all of the pieces there. And we have all the pieces. We have all of them. The architect verified it. He has his drawings, and what we're doing now is we're going to be breaking them out into different sizes, different lengths. whether they're 78 inches, 87 inches, or 117 inches. And because we're going to pour a concrete pad, and then we'll be taking these building blocks and putting the equestrian plaza back up. If you'll look right, standing in front of them, you'll notice the three narrow ones that are stacked up, and beside them there's three more. That's the benches that go along the side. So, so we looked, we counted everything, we measured everything. All of the pieces are there. Now, we did some measurements to do some calculations to get some weights. Harrison, there was two of them that I marked that have Nathan Bedford Forrest name on them. Okay, you can see one of them right there, the first one. And I just want you to get a look at the size of that, because that's 3 tons right there. That's 6,000 pounds.
Wow.
That's the reason why that we have to be very conscious, and we're working with a structural engineer on the drawings, because what they had before was all of that was built underneath, and that was the front of what you see. When you're facing, if so many of us remember Forrest Equestrian Statue in Forest Park, you're facing it. If you look on the left, this was the one that you saw on the left. So that'll get you an accounting of where that one was on the original. And it will be back in that same spot, same familiar spot. But that, because it's 6,000 pounds, and we've got another piece that's 10,500 pounds. We've got another, the equestrian statue itself is over 5,000 pounds. So we're pouring, before they had the concrete and all that, then they built a brick structure. Well, we're just going to have a solid piece of concrete, then we're putting the blocks on top of it. And we talked briefly about what to do. That way no water is going to be able to come in. One of the things that they had happen during this was water was able to come in and come into the grave sites and come into the vaults, which we don't want that to happen. And now, the modern vaults that we have, they're able to be sealed up. We have the original vaults there. You can look on the porch on the museum, and you will see 2 concrete vaults. Well, now we have the different metal vaults that have the seals. Plus, as we know, the coffins themselves seal better. So we're looking at how to get all of that water out from under there. If you've been to the gravesite, you'll notice that we have the slope to deal with. So we had a brief conversation with the architect, and they're already talking about how to put the French drains in. So where we are, just so everybody knows, okay, we have already got the imaging done, so we can go ahead and do the broken tailpiece and the saber. So as soon as those are cast, they'll be coming down to do those. I am hoping. Now, remember, hope is not a plan. We remember that, correct? Things look like, from talking with the gentleman that was there from Venetti's, you're looking at about a 6-week turnaround to have those pieces to us. I'm hoping that when we get to the October GEC meeting, all of the repair work has been done on the equestrian statue. That is real possible, because here we are in the middle of August. We have about 6 weeks left. It's possible that it could be done by then. And I'm hoping that that is the case. So then you'll be able to see it. It's going to be cleaned up. It's going to be waxed. It's going to have a 3D image of it done. All of the things repaired. And then the Jeff Davis statue is going to be cleaned, waxed, and 3D imaged as well. The Venetti bid included all of it. It was all encompassing. And that is the reason why that one preeminently, and it stuck out. Now, as far as the plans, talked with the architect. He has already been working with the structural engineer. They've already gone back with their measurements. When last I spoke with him, after when we were through, I spoke with him, and he goes, I've already, and he showed me the drawings. I've seen the preliminary drawings, and he's real close. I mean, he's going, this piece is going, when we were walking through there, he's going, this piece is going to go here. This piece is going to go here. He was having it laid out. So when he comes back the next time, when the plans are done and we're looking at getting a builder, because he's going to get us the plans. And we've already spoken to a few people that are interested in giving us bids. We're going to be getting the bids out. When they come in and we decide on a builder, they're going to come in and they're going to mark all of these building blocks and where they go. This is going to be putting together a really southern piece of Legos, you know. This is just going to be, yes. And because of the weight, we're going to have to do everything by cranes. So they're estimating about 8 weeks just to do the work. So that, but y'all know how that is. It's not like they start and 8 weeks later, they're going to be done, especially if we're working into the winter on this. They might work this day, they might work the next day, and rain comes in and it turns into a slush fest, and they can't do anything for a week or two, and then they'll be back again. So you're looking about 8 weeks worth of work, because it's just going to be taking and moving cranes and doing that. So then, as I get a lot of questions about the 3D imaging. So if you don't mind, I'll touch on that very briefly, then I'll be quiet, Commander, because but that's the second. The first question I get is, when are we going to be putting the plaza dedication? I have no idea at this time, folks. Right now, we're still in that design phase. As soon as we start moving dirt, we're going to be able to start narrowing down a guesstimate. But as far as actually setting the date, that's going to be left up to the Commander-in-Chief and the GEC. But I'm hoping that I'm looking at the Commander-in-Chief that's going to be doing it. That's my hope. But that I'm that optimistic, and the people that I've talked to are that optimistic. Nobody has said, "Oh, we can't do it by then." Everybody knows what we're doing, and everybody that has stepped up and stepped in, I believe that we'll be able to get it done. Now, that's the first question I get the most. When we're going to do it, don't know yet. As soon as I know, we get a guesstimate, it'll go to the General Executive Council, and the GEC will make the announcement. Now, the second question I get is, what about the miniatures? Okay, we've got some pricing on the miniatures. If we do a like bronze, what that means is it is bronze that is high quality, that's similar to what is used on the equestrian statue itself. Okay, you're looking, the cost to do one is going to be over $6,000 for a 12-inch one. That's just the cost to do it. Then there's a granite block that it's going to have to be placed on. So when you start looking at the smaller ones, even the smaller 4-inch one, they're saying $1,700. Okay, now that is like bronze. When we get to 3D imaging, I've already talked to a few places, and we're going to have, they're going to be made out of a different material, like that ceramic stuff that they make them out of nowadays. That way we'll be able to make miniatures that will sell, something that we can sell in the gift shop. I said that, and then the person corrected me, and they go, I want the 12-inch one. I go, okay, we don't know the price on that yet, but we're knowing, what we don't know exactly what we're going to price them out. We know it's going to be at least $6,000 before we get the granite. And he goes, well, that's what I want. I go, okay, well, we still have to do, because not everybody's going to want to up the $6,000 to do it. But I went ahead and told him, that's going to be on an order deal. You're going to place your order, you're going to pay for it, and then we'll order it. So you can expect a 2 or 3 month turnaround on that, because it's not going to be made until you pay for it, because we can't have those things sitting on the shelf. Y'all know we can't do that. We have to be better stewards of our money with that. But if somebody wants it, okay. But we're going to try to do something that people can come into the gift shop and buy that will be very reasonably priced. So are we going to do them? Yes. I've already talked to a few places. They've given some reasonable numbers okay, they can be made reasonable because the money is going to be used for the maintenance and the upkeep of the equestrian plaza and all that. So it's not going to go into the general fund. So this is what we're going to sell that's going to provide the maintenance for the equestrian plaza. And I know that we have one camp that has stepped up out in Texas, and they've agreed to pay for the waxing every 3 years. And, that's $3,500 right now. And they have agreed to pay for that, but we still must maintain the rest of the plaza. So this is going to be going toward that. So we're going to have to make a little money off of it. But that money is going to be going for that. So when we get closer, we get to all the 3D imaging, I'll be able to give you an exact price. I hope I answered the questions.
All right, good. I appreciate it, Commander. I think Ron Kennedy has a question right quick.
I just want to remind everyone that everyone who is a paid up in full 21st century Confederate hero will have primary seating at the rededication. So you won't be way back in the back. You'll be up front. So get your membership in, get your money in. You'll have primary seat. Now, you probably won't be able to sit on the benches because there won't be enough room for it, but you'll be primary. That's one of the things that we've pledged to do as part of the lanyap, as we say in South Louisiana, for joining up the 21st century.
All right. Thank you, sir. We're out of town. We're over time. But, Jason, I appreciate your effort, and I appreciate you bringing that update. I know everybody's interested. Paul, I apologize. We're out of time, or I'd get you to say a few words, but I do apologize. But thank you for all that you are doing. And I did notice, I will tell everyone, Eric Pavetti did make a statement here to remember that the grace period on dues ends at the end of this month. So please get your dues in, ladies and gentlemen. And so we'll get that going. So to close up one more time, I'm going to remind you, if they know, we will grow. Our effort now is to let the general public know who we are, why we are proud of Southerners and our Confederate ancestors, and why it is important for them to be proud. And therefore, it'll be easier for us to recruit and retain members. And I want to thank again our Lieutenant Commander. He couldn't be with us because he's up behind enemy lines up around Dearborn, Michigan, I believe, today. And so he's up there talking to a wonderful group of Confederates up there. Listen, we've got some great Confederates from California, the Pacific Northwest, New Mexico, Colorado, Indiana, Michigan, just several places, Alaska. Listen, we appreciate our Confederates behind the enemy lines. You are doing great effort, and you really have done a lot for the cause, and we appreciate y'all. And I appreciate Tony being up there speaking to that group. My wife and I had the pleasure of being up there a few weeks ago, and there's a wonderful group of Confederates. So with that said, Harrison, I'm going to kick it back to you, and it's your program to end. And God bless you all. Thank y'all for what you're doing for the cause of the South. Y'all stay Confederate, and God save the South. Thank you.
Well, the Commander-in-Chief stole a lot of my thunder in the closing remarks, but it was a great episode. Please make sure to share this episode out to your camps, brigades, divisions, armies. Get it out to all our Confederate-friendly folks. And make sure to tune in Monday for your weekly episode of SCV Chat, where we will have Dr. Mitchum on to talk about some of his new books. So it's always a great episode when Dr. Mitchum comes on. So I expect to see everybody there. Same Confederate channel, same Confederate time. And we'd like to thank our Patreons and our sponsors. But without further ado, everybody, stay Southern.